Right, my friends, couple of things that I want to speak to you about today. First of all, there's a petition going through Parliament. I'll put the documentation and a link to that in the description down below, to ban petrol advertising, basically. I mean, behind me here, look, we've got Superfina, Power Diesel, we've got National. It was classic, and over here we've got some others. Look, you know, I remember all the advertising on TV. Shell, we've got what else have we got here? We've got Esso, the Tiger, put a Tiger in your tank, BP there as well, and basically there is a petition going through Parliament to black out fossil fuel advertising, so you won't see any of that anymore. It's been made illegal. Some would make that, it would make you think there's some kind of evil agenda to get rid of petrol altogether and get us all into electric cars. And also got another little news story for you that I'm going to read you. How would you feel if, when you go to a petrol station and you fill up with petrol, and you are actually subsidising the new EV chargers and EV infrastructure, if they put a tax on your petrol to make you pay for the EV charging infrastructure? Well, we'll get into that as well. Little news story. I just want to show you this. Actually, it's a really nice kind of truck, isn't it? Just look at this. There's some. Do you know what? There's some others over here, some classic trucks and classic cars. I'll tell you what, let's roll the intro. Do us a favour, hit the subscribe button, and also give us a thumbs up and share this on social media, and let's put the word out there and put an end to this evil agenda. So, without further ado, my friends, let's go. Couple of classic cars here. Just look at this. These are fantastic. There's some more classic cars over here. This is not why we're here, by the way. I've come along because I was going to film in front of the old petrol advertising there. But then there's classic cars here. I'll show you before I read these stories out. Just look at these. I reckon Jeff Buys Cars would like that one. Got some more over here as well. This is fantastic. Anyway, that is not why you are here, obviously, but I thought, yeah, classic cars. But it fits in, doesn't it? Because there's an evil agenda, which I've gone on and on about. I own an electric car and I can see what's happening. They're basically trying to put an end to petrol cars and put everybody in electric cars. Or, some would say, stop us travelling altogether. Now, I had a little report sent to me by a viewer of a petition that's going through Parliament. I'll read it you in the car because it's terrible weather. And what they're trying to do is put an end to fossil fuel advertising. I'll read the first few lines of it and I'll put the documentation in the description down below with a link to it. And it's going through Parliament next week, I believe. I won't read it all because it's boring, but basically they're going to liken, listen to this, they're going to liken fossil fuel advertising to cigarette and tobacco advertising. So they're going to make it like it's really, really bad for you. And I know some are going to say, well, it is if you breathe the fumes in. But petrol cars have got cleaner and cleaner. I think it's an absolute outrage. They're going to do this to the oil industry. There's definitely some kind of evil agenda. Or I may be wrong. It's just my opinion. Let's get in the car. It's terrible weather. Look at this. Castrol GTX, Champion, Shell. Put a Tiger in your tank. We're going to lose all that. Mobil. The fantastic advertising from years gone by. What we're going to do? We're going to see what InstaVolt come on, let's get in the car. Right, so listen to this. There is a debate on an e-petition relating to fossil fuel advertising and sponsorship. So what they're trying to do is, from reading into this, read it yourself, make out what you wish about it in the description down below. They're basically trying to put a ban on any fossil fuel advertising or sponsorship. So BP, Esso, whoever, they will not be able to sponsor anything. Pretty much like when they did cigarette advertising, and they did Benson and Hedges, etc. and whatever, and they banned it all. We know they used to sponsor the Formula One, etc. Well, all that will be gone. They'll just put an end to it, and this is going through Parliament, I believe, next week. An e-petition to ban fossil fuel advertising and sponsorship will be debated in Westminster Hall on the 7th of July 2025. The subject for this debate was determined by the Petitions Committee, and the debate will be opened by Jacob Collier MP. And the petition calls for a ban of advertising on fossil fuel, likening this, listen to this, likening this ban, right, likening this to the ban on tobacco advertising that was introduced in 2003. It also asserts that fossil fuel advertising has a history of greenwashing, and that fossil fuel companies have spent over $4 billion on sports sponsorship deals. Now, you read into that as you will. I'll put the link to this in the description down below. And they say greenwashing. I believe, in my opinion, that there is an agenda to put an end to petrol cars. And if we don't wake up, and I know I have an electric car, but I feel really strongly about this, right? I believe in choice. If you want an electric car, all these people banging on about their electric cars, if you want an electric car, go and have one. Link yourself up. I don't know, put your charger on your gonads or whatever and get off on electric cars. But don't try and push it onto other people. I like driving my electric car. I also like driving petrol cars. I love the sound of it. But don't dare tell us what we can and cannot drive. Do something about it. Share the video, and I'm going to tell you in a moment. I'm going to read you a little story. I need to go to the filling station and just get myself a little bite to eat. So we're going to go there. And then I shall read you this other story, because how would you feel now if you went to fill up with petrol and there was a hidden tax, right, to cover the infrastructure, building of the infrastructure for electric chargers? Let me know how you'd feel. I'm going to read you a little story about it, and also I'll put the link to that in the description down below. And now I feel really strongly about it. And you can say, yeah, well, you've got an electric car and you obviously like your Taycan. Yeah, but I like choice, and that is where it winds me up. So please share the video. And I can't believe that, likening petrol advertising and BP to cigarette advertising, that's just madness. Right, come on, onwards. There you go, look, petrol station, filling station. How would you feel if, when you're filling up your car with fuel, that you are subsidising the EV charging network? Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. Right, let's get back in the car and I'll read you this little story that I found online. Well, it was actually sent to me by a friend of mine, and I bet you're watching. Come on, let's get back in the car. Right, let's get down to business, shall we? So this is a story in Auto Express. Again, I'll put the link to this in the description down below, but I'll read you the first few lines of it. And by the way, got myself a Greggs baguette, not sponsored. Greggs, do you know what? So many, look at the comments in the comments section. They go, I think you'll find that's really bad for you. Greggs is filled full of terrible chemicals. Well, I'm still here and I'm fine. Anyway, I'm sure there are better sandwiches though, by the way. This is not what we've come here for, is it? Are EV chargers to blame for high petrol prices? Now that's a question, so you need to read this for yourself. As I say, link in the description down below. But it is very interesting reading. I'd also like your thoughts on it. Would you be annoyed as a petrol car driver? Would you be upset paying a hidden tax to expand the EV charging network? Let me know in the comments section down below. Or are you all for it? Maybe you are an evangelist, maybe you're an EV driver. Do you agree with it? Do you think that people who drive petrol cars should be subsidising the EV charging network? Fuel retailers are blaming EV chargers and wage risers as the main drivers for the historically high margins on petrol and diesel. But dig a little deeper and you'll find the truth is a little more nuanced. In its quarterly update on the fuel sector, the Competition and Markets Authority, the CMA, set out how the cost of fuel remains stubbornly high despite having dipped in recent months. At the time of writing, petrol sits at an average of £1.34 per litre, while diesel costs around £1.41 per litre. Part of the reason for the lofty prices are wider retail margins, which between January 2024 and March this year averaged as much as 9.2% and 8.1% for the standard retailers and supermarkets, respectively. Now compare this to 2019, when margins were around 6.5% and 4.5% respectively for retailers and supermarkets. It's no surprise then that drivers paid £1.6 billion more for fuel in 2023 than they did in 2019. However, while the CMA's 2023 market analysis suggests that operational costs weren't originally a factor in the increased margins, the Petrol Retailers Association, the PRA, insists that rises in the national living wage, business rates and energy prices, plus a surge in forecourt crime, are all forcing firms to keep prices high. Now, listen to this. Interesting, however, the PRA, the Petrol Retailers Association, says that the installation of EV chargers is one of the more notable financial burdens in this regard. The organisation's executive director, Gordon Balmer, told Auto Express that despite the high margins associated with dispensing electricity via EV chargers, members are finding charging points take a long time, as long as 8 to 10 years, to recoup the initial costs associated with them. In fact, in some of the areas of the country, it can cost 1.2 million just to ensure a correct level of power is being delivered. Now, I've come across that. Different charges, different powers, etc. They had issues at Leicester services, if you remember. With all of this combined, Balmer said, you cannot compare margins from 5 years ago to today with the hits we've had to take. He pointed out that despite some investment from the government in EV charging infrastructure, some independent businesses, which make up 64% of UK forecourts, are forced to fork out large sums to ensure proper connections with the grid. So, I will put this, by the way, there's a whole story on it here, and I'll just put that in the link in the description down below. Are people paying for EV charging network when you go to the forecourt? Is that why there is an increased cost on petrol and diesel prices? If that's so, then that is absolutely wrong. Read it how you will. Links in the description down below. Let me know your thoughts. Please share this video across all social media networks. Put it on Facebook if you've got it. Put it on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now. And let's share it out there. And hit the subscribe button. And let's not stand for this anymore. Yes, I drive an electric car, but I believe about choice. I believe in choice. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. I've actually got to get back to Leeds now, but I've got to make a stop along the way for 40 minutes to charge my car. See you later. Greg's baguette before I go, I think.